Wait. Hello. Oh shit, you guys can see like the VTube studio thing. Oh. Oh well. Ah, there we go. I still have a cough. It's kind of surprising to me. I've not healed yet. It's been like 9 days. Uh, this is so unfortunate because I am going to be making a song. I am going, one of the things that I said I would do on my main channel is like a song, music content, and music content is kind of difficult to come by as it is, because I'm very off the time where I practice music more consistently. Right now, I am just, what am I doing? Yeah, no, I'm doing music, but like less consistently. Hello, Alex, welcome. Yeah, I am doing music content at some point, but music content is going to take a while to record. The main challenge to that is the fact that I have a cough right now, and that it's not healed. But I already had like a VTuber friend who is like really enthusiastic about making her own cover of a certain song, telling me to rush because she really wants to release hers, but she doesn't want to like release the same song as me, I guess, which is fair. Uh, but yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at right now. I am going to be playing Subnautica. I was just looking at a couple of messages first. Kraut got in contact with me. I think that after this stream, which I don't know how long I'm going to make, I will create like a testing stream. Once the testing stream is up, I will try to get the alerts going and things like that. It's going to be very scruff. Uh, uh, who else? Yeah, no, I guess VTubers call this thing like Satsudan. Some other VTubers, streamers in general call it like just chatting streams. Hello, Kame, welcome. Yeah, so once this stream is done, I am going to create a stream. I'm not sure if I will unlist it because I don't know if the bots can be on an unlisted stream, but I will create a stream where I'm just testing like unarchived. Yes. I'm going to create a stream that I will use, but just to like create the bots, making sure the bots work. At the moment the bots don't work, not as well as I can. I got to the point where redeems can be made, points can be made, but points at the moment are transactionally meaningless. They're like a fiat currency of a country that doesn't exist. Because you can buy anything with them. They're just like stacking. I think that's so annoying. Anyway, I'm switching over to the game now. I was just like turning it on. Yeah, I think that's so annoying because I used to be in a Discord server called Calliopean. Calliopean is a server where I met a bunch of friends, actually. A lot of the people that you sometimes see me be active with politically, if you see me be active politically, that is. I met them in Calliopean. Uh, Calliopean is a server that. Wait a second. Yeah, the VTuber, former content creator, now Twitter like activist known as Aristocracy, runs. Aries is like incredibly smart. I have a lot of intellectual respect for her. And yeah, so the thing with Aries is that she implemented a coin system in Calliopean. The coin system now allows you to like buy things and stuff. But there was a time when the coin system was just like an open-ended thing that didn't do anything. You had money, but the money was worthless, and a lot of people were just like collecting the money for the sake of collecting the money, but they never could like do much with it, and that was pretty bad. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! What's going on? Why are the sites inverted? Wait, what? Okay, okay. I'm on the mouse now. Hmm. This is suspicious. Yeah, no. Right now my controller is being super weird. I can't use the. Hmm. Okay. Whoa. What's that? Can you guys see that thing on the screen? That's so suspicious. uh. Ah. What's going on? uh. Whoa, that's some crazy lag. Hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. I have like a window here that's I had never seen this window before. Like what? Uh, unstuck. What? I could play with a mouse. With a mouse, things are normal. Like this is me playing with a mouse, but I want to play with my controller. So yeah. What was I telling you about Ares? Oh yeah, Ares, right? I'll go for a cable to play with the controller. It's whatever. Mm, this controller has like a wireless feature, but the wireless feature is like rebelling against me right now. So I am going to use the cable. Are you going to listen to me right now? Okay, it seems like it's like uh I'm going to restart it. I'm going to restart it. I'm very suspicious about what just happened. So yeah, I mean Ares is incredibly smart, yeah. She sadly had to walk back from streaming. I think she wants to do it again, but there are things going on her own life that make it very difficult. And there are also things uh Yeah, there are also things going on uh, in her regarding to like a guy who harassed her, another streamer who was like very mean to her. That kind of made her think that she didn't want to be online anymore, like for her own personal safety and things like that. So I understand that. I respect Teresa's decision, but like, why was I talking about her? Oh, right. Yeah, like her Discord server for a brief period of time had a thing called a coin system, the Calliopean coins, and Calliopean coins were nice. But for a very long time they were kind of useless because Calliopean coins were like this thing that yeah, they were this thing that you could like you could use for accumulation purposes, but you never could like do anything with them when they were first implemented. And I feel like wishes are like that right now. Like you can have wishes, you can increase your count, but you can do nothing with them, and that's kind of trash. I don't like that. That's the state we're at. Lag should be improved, and the controller works now. So there's only good things to report right now. Mhm. Now, how did I open the right? I'll tell you my current objectives. I think one of my objectives right now is to go to the river. There's a river, and then when I'm at the river, I am going to get some of the. Yeah, I'm getting some of the things that I should get. Mm-hmm. To my. Yeah, no, I am getting one of the things that I should get for the prawn suit to work properly. At the moment, I have it. It's like great. It's amazing. Um, yeah, it works. It jumps. It does things. It can mine. Yes, like I think this is great. This is wonderful stuff. It can jump so high it goes above the water. Yeah, like this thing is amazing, and it also punches, which is great. But the thing is that I also need I need a drill. I need to get it like working in other ways, and yeah, I need to turn off the light as well. How does one turn off your light? Hmm. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like turning the lights off is something we can do right now. Maybe I should go play Omori now. Omori's a great game, yeah. I found aristocracy bots after she stopped streaming and really enjoyed them. Yeah, no, she's amazing. I respect her intellectually and as a content creator in a lot of ways. She precludes kind of what I wanted to do early on, which is like an intersection of gaming and this kind of semi political VTubing, I guess. She got like monetized in a month, less than a month, I think. Of course, she had like her established audience and this Discord server I'm telling you about, but um, yeah, no, she was very successful at providing like new perspectives and new content, and yeah, I have a lot of respect for Eris. I'm kind of bummed she had to go though. Uh, you know, I don't know everything going on, she has a lot of friends that are closer to her than I was, but yeah, like harassment and that kind of thing, I'm pretty sure she would still be creating content in some shape or form if it wasn't for this one person who went out of their way to make her life as difficult as possible. And yeah, no, that was messed up. It was one of those like leftist YouTubers. Um, this guy also has also made like videos on me, but I don't take them too seriously because yeah, I try not to. There's this thing that people don't like, which is that they call people tankies. Like, I don't like the word tanky. I think it doesn't represent anything real. I think that when people say tanky, they mean what we used to mean in older leftist days. Um, when we talk about what was the term? Red fascism? Yes, yes, red fascism. Red fascism is this idea that, some people would very critically support, uncritically support, uh, leftist countries and governments, despite of how authoritarian they were and how bad they were on certain civic issues. And the word for that was red fascist, and the red fascist is basically that. It's like it's it's a person who supports any country as long as the country has a red flag. And by doing that, they would often be very tolerant of the excesses and bad behavior of dictators and people, what Trotsky used to call what was the word? The people's the corrupted worker state. Yeah, the corrupted worker state. A corrupted worker state is basically like a communist state or a socialist state. Well, a socialist state, formally speaking, that is committed in some shape or form to revolutionary politics, but at the same time, it's just kind of not, because it's going through some form of bureaucratic takeover or some form of like bad thing, one way or another. And, those things are things that deserve criticism from within leftist analysis, right? It's not necessarily on liberals to be like the leading voice on the criticism of uh, you know leftist states that are less than perfect. That should be something that everyone does. But a lot of people are kind of the opinion that, if you have a state which is a leftist state, and, it should be protected from all criticism because it's still kind of the closest thing we have to the real thing we're trying to create, I guess. And so they have this philosophy of like, let's not criticize, let's not voice our opinions on this, even if they're bad, because they're bad for the community, right? If you break file and say something about these things, that sucks. And the term we used to have for that kind of person was a red fascist. A red fascist was like, red flag good. It doesn't matter if they're like living up to their ideals or uh, failing or falling short in some regard of the things we would want socialist states to do. But yeah, but there are people who don't care about that like at all, and that's basically what I think people talk about when they talk about tankies. But that's wrong, because the current use of tanky is basically like anyone to the left of me, right? It's like uh, tanky. I have seen people being called tankies when I guess what people kind of mean is red fascist, uh, because they're Marxist Leninists, right? Or because they're not fully supportive of Ukraine, for example. Like tanky has kind of devolved into a widespread kind of McCarthyist label for anyone who's to the left of the person calling like the other person a tanky. And that's disappointing because the word tanky actually comes from like leftist criticism initially, and it meant something very specific, which was like Brezhnevites. If you guys don't know what the Soviet intervention in Czechoslovakia was, basically, oh, alien containment. Okay, yeah. So basically, the Czechs once tried to create a kind of social democratic socialist kind of country uh, during the 60s. I think it was in 1967, going on to 1968. And they had this president, which I actually really like, whose name is Alexander Dubček. And Alexander Dubček was like a moderate. He wanted to be friendlier to the West. He was very warm to the things that Tito was doing. And what Dubček did basically was to oh my god, wait. Yeah, what Dubček did was that he started telling people, yeah, no, like you can have a business. We need, you can have like these things that you like, um, but we're still communist. We're still like committed to this kind of project, but we want to let people be free, right? Like his whole thing compared to other socialist projects was this idea of the socialist state that tries to create things but like with a human face. That was his whole like talking point: socialism with a human face, socialism with a human face. And the thing is that Dubček was still like considerably far left when he did all this. Uh, and people today would definitely call him a tanky. But Dubček was the guy for whom the word tanky was created, because he was kind of too moderate for the Soviets. And what the Soviets decided to do in response to that was to send tanks from Poland and from what other country was it? Yeah, from Poland and from Russia to stop Dubček from creating, like his moderate Warsaw Pact country. So that's the thing, right? Tanky would now be used for the people that, tanky used to mean something like Brezhnevite, someone who would support very uncritically the decisions of Brezhnev, who was like a guy who, he was the one who led the Soviet intervention into Czechoslovakia. And, you know, what kind of word has it become that now the people for whom the tanks were against, right, could be called tankies or whatever that is. So yeah, that's why I don't like the word. That's why I prefer to say like the traditional, to put it one way, red fascist. I feel like tanky is like way too open-ended. A lot of people who use it should not be using it. That kind of thing. So yeah. Everything I like is conditional, because if I don't have conditions, I fear that I might make that decision in the mount and follow something just because I liked them before. What do you mean? Can you DM me sources on the Czechoslovakia during that time? That seems really interesting. Yes, I could DM you sources. You can also just Google the Prague Spring. Look at what the Prague Spring was. That was like, the era where Alexander Dubček was kind of trying to create his reforms. He didn't succeed. He succeeded. You know how people say that my perfect socialist society was this society that existed for like 4 months in the corner of Peru, and this like a super specific thing. The Prague Spring was something like that. It was basically a short-lived uh, attempt to, I don't want to say democratize, I want to say liberalize a socialist state that had previously been aligned with like Warsaw Pact ideas of how you were supposed to govern, which is, this authoritarian kind of centralized planned economy thing. The plan of Dubček was basically to let people run their own businesses. You still had like the communist structure, but you didn't have the same degree of centralization that you used to have, and it was very short-lived. Like, we don't know what it would have been like, or what that thing would have looked like if it had looked like anything, really. But yeah, basically that's the thing. That's what it was, like a short-lived experiment that the Soviets and the Poles, the Poles under their non-unelected government, I should say, repressed. And it was sad because I actually like Dubček. I think Dubček might be one of the people who are like closer to my ideas. So yeah. Also, thank you for accepting my friend request on Discord. Yeah, no worries. I'm kind of sad that you can't be in the server because the server is still for like adults. But you being able to DM me is like the next best thing, I guess. But yeah, Prague, the Czechs. The Czechs are pretty woke. I really enjoy their political approach. I heard that Czechia right now is not like it's not exactly the best part of the EU, though. Yeah. Yeah, like Czechia is just kind of messed up. They have a lot of corruption. They're not doing great economically. They're not doing great on Ukraine. Yeah, no, like there's a lot of things that the Czechs are not like having a great time with. Okay, so this is supposed to be like an underground abandoned river thing. I have been here before because that was like laser cut. And that was laser cut means I've been messing around here in the past. We'll have to see. Okay, pick that up. Oh, it's nighttime. Huh. That's kind of inconvenient for me. I wish there was more like light in this environment. Shouldn't this thing have like a light integrated? How does one turn on the light of a sea moth? Hmm. Oh well. Okay, this is like as good as it gets. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm just coming here to like scan things. I'm happy about this. This is bound to be like a very relaxing game. I tried to save Subnautica for Friday because I think this is like the game you guys like the most. It's the one that people kind of watch the most. So yeah, Friday, so everyone can come. Uh, I think I scared people with the tanky talk about that. That's fine. Uh, oh well. Mm. Yeah, no, like Crowd used to be around. Crowd used to hang out here, but he used to hang out at a time where I think he was still looking for a job. Now that he has like an adult, grown-up job, uh, he's kind of it's been harder for him to make videos and just participate in things. It's a bit sad because he really enjoys Subnautica and these kinds of things. Do you guys watch Crowd's channel? Not Crowd with a T, Crowd with a D. Um, he goes by Ordinal. I could like link his stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this is not. I don't want to go there just yet. Mhm. Did you see any of the videos I sent you on the QAnon church? I did. Um, yeah, no, it looks like weird. I don't think. Ah, I have my opinions on why these things happen, but they're not like mainstream opinions. I think the United States is a country that cares a lot about opinions, right? Like you guys respect each other's opinions a lot. A lot of what the US is just kind of building on this idea that in your private space, in your private home, in the in the walls of your own house, you can do whatever you want. And that's like a liberal idea of property and things, which is fine, but a lot of people take that as to mean that no one can call them out on problematic ideas. That you have your right to an opinion, you have your right to like your beliefs, and that starts with how Americans treat religion. And it's very difficult for Americans to have conversations about things that are wrong because culturally it's like iffy to tell someone that anything that they do in their personal space, in their private space, is wrong. Like that's just something that Americans don't do. You don't have a culture of saying like um yeah, no, like please do not have gay conversion therapy because that's morally abhorrent. You just say like, oh, I don't know, like if some people have those opinions. Yeah, yeah. I just listening to you talk. Link it. Link what exactly? They got a lot of people because they will the only ones who wear anti-masks, so all the anti-maskers went to them. That makes sense. Yeah, no, like American churches being like this thing where people go to shelter themselves from, this idea that freedom of opinion means I get to believe whatever I want, and you get to believe whatever you want, and I don't tell you how to live, and you don't tell me how to live. Uh, in my space, in whatever I consider like my private space. Uh, yeah, that's something very American. In most countries, I guess, other than the U.S., we sacrifice that a bit, and society takes precedence in your ability to live in certain ways. And a lot of people find that very authoritarian, and they say, I wouldn't want to live in a country that, you know, has like access to my personal life and stuff. But it's like trade-offs, right? Like you get things from that, and you also lose things from that. Okay, I need to get air. I need to get air. I need to get air. I need to get the air. Yeah, like for example, I'll tell you one thing about France. In France, you can't have unlimited ketchup. Like if you go to a restaurant and you want like Burger King to give you more ketchup, that's not allowed. That's legal. And a lot of Americans, when they go, to France, and they go to like Burger King, and they go like, "What the fuck? You guys sell beer here, but you don't sell like unlimited ketchup?" The answer is yes. We won't sell you. We won't let you put like go crazy with the ketchup, I guess. And yeah, no, that's just kind of how some countries are. You they sacrifice your ability to get away with certain things like that. Ah, which is, I won't say it's like the best, because there are things about the US that I like, as far as like the freedoms they allow people to have. But you also need to consider that, yeah, it's gives and takes. In the unlimited ketchup sense, I think the US is better than France. But in the healthcare sector, right, France is better, and you can't really separate the reasons why France does well in certain things without taking like a hard look at why some other things are not as great. It's like a full package. You can't really have like the good things and have the bad things away, because oftentimes the reason why you have like the good things at all is because they coexist in a very delicate system where the bad things also are. So yeah, people get really mad when I challenge their opinion that they made a statement that can be proven or was a logical fallacy. Yeah, I mean, that's very American. You're not supposed to do that when it comes to things of the private space. Yeah, because in the US it's like, yeah, no, like it's my life, it's my house. You're not gonna come here and tell me how to live my life, right? Tell me how to spend my money, that kind of thing. That's very difficult for Americans to like process the idea that things that you do in your private space can be of public concern, I guess. um but part of the reason why you do that is also why you have very open gun laws, and why you have very you have unlimited catch. Like it's not the government's business to tell you how much ketchup you put in your shit. So yeah, I mean, would you trade that? I guess some people would, but a lot of people are like more ambivalent. Like you would trade it, but you also, you want the good thing, but you don't want the bad thing, right? People, I am wrong on most things and will be for all my life. That's everyone, honestly. That starts in school. Schools in the US teach there is fact and opinion, and that's it. Yeah, yeah, it's complicated. I don't know what could be done to like change that. I think it's just like the way the US is. Like freedom. I should have the freedom to do things that uh, that society does not. Society should have like no voice on. And in principle, that's a good thing, right? Because you don't want the state kind of messing with your life and telling you to do things. But just how much should society have a say in your life? That's a question for which the answer is definitely not like an absolute zero. Uh, and yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, would Americans be more open to have like things in their society work better if the trade-off was that all of a sudden you couldn't have unlimited ketchup and shit. Like you couldn't have like soda refills, soda fountains, and that sort of stuff. Like you would have to lose some ground to society. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you would have to surrender things to society to have like a lot of the things that Europe has, and a lot of people don't like that, right? Like I've met French people who say, "Oh no, I felt like France uh, was too political, right? Everything you have to do, you have to go through this thing or through this thing, and there's so much bureaucracy." I like the US because in the US you don't have to go through that. In the US you just have your things, other people have theirs, and you're left to your means. But a lot of these people are like business people. They're folks who maybe tried to start a small business, but they weren't super successful, and they found a success in the US that they didn't find in Europe, mostly because there's less requirements to being like a business person. So yeah, it's that kind of thing. Like, would you take that trade? A lot of Europeans say no, and that's why they moved to the US, because the US is less restrictive on their ability to put like chlorine on chicken and and things like that. Yeah. Hmm.
Damage to plant life on the seafloor suggests this may be the migration path of a huge, bottom-dwelling life form.
Oh. Teach who intellectual work and what intellectual basis and what theories and hypotheses in observation and debate. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I'm not sure if Americans want that, right? I'm not sure if they want to change. I think they're quite comfortable with like the way things are. They like this, like, you have your garden and I have mine. Tall fences make good neighbors kind of philosophy. Um, What does one do with those people? What's the right response to, you know, United States kind of? The US needs strong anti-corporation, maybe. Like, I don't know how to fix the US. Reginald? It's kind of meh. I think one thing that almost everyone agrees on is like electoral reform. Like, you need to get rid of the electoral college. I don't know. The US has been like so slow to do something about that. Like, that's the first thing I would have done as Lincoln. Like, no more electoral college. Yeah. Because the thing with the electoral college is that it just kind of it creates permanent political minorities, right? It creates people who want, it creates the philosophy that people should be voting based on regional interests and not on people, like actual popular will. Popular will is subordinate to like regional interests and regional elites. It takes like thousands of California voters to have the weight of like one Idaho voter in deciding like elections and things like that, and that's very unfair. Land votes in the US, right? It's not like people voting. The land you live in, the soil you step in, determines more how society values your voice than like other things. Oh, inventory full, X2. I want America to change for the better. Yeah, I guess most Americans want that. It'd be very weird if they didn't. Like, imagine, I want America to change for the worse. That's the thing, though. A lot of politicians don't really want to make things worse. It's just that their idea of what it takes to make things better is not good. But everyone has good intentions, right? In politics, it's like easy to just say that, oh, my opponent is evil. My opponent is just like this person who doesn't know what they're doing. They're intentionally malicious. They're trying to get like everything bad that could be bad implemented. But that's not really true. A lot of people who have political ideas, even like very bad ones, have them because they think they're good things. There's not like someone out there who's who goes through the trouble of going into politics thinking that they're going to create something bad for the worse, and then they do it, and they're there for enough. Look up Fair Vote. It is a tough group advocating for vote reform. Yeah, I imagined someone would. It's like a very complicated thing in the US, like voter reform. I don't think the Republicans want it. They also don't want to have like Puerto Rico become a state. I don't want Puerto Rico to become a state, but that's for very different reasons. I would like them to be independent. But the Puerto Ricans don't really overall they're not like super fond of the idea of independence, which is sad, but oh well. Oh my god. What is that? That was so big. Did you guys see that? Oh my god, what? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm just going to go straight up. I don't care. Oh my goodness. What was that? Do you know how loud you have to be to have like have your voice be heard in the water? Okay, I'm going back. That was scary. Alright. Yeah, I am going to be investing a little in creating like trackers, like those things that you put it on areas so that you know where to go. I wish the USA let other nations become states, like how the EU lets nations join. I don't. I think the US should remain as is, or maybe become smaller. But legally, the US doesn't like going small. They have this idea of, you know, the inseparability of the union, right? And due to the inseparability of the union, you can have something like what's the name? Yeah, like states leave. Something like Brexit would not happen, because you can't leave the US. Hello. Yeah, so now we're going back because that thing was super scary. I don't know what it was. But it roared. It roared underwater. Do you know how loud you have to be for like water, you know, sound to travel on water like that? Like if you scream. Yeah. I'm going back for lunch, baby. Don't worry. Mm-hmm.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Thank you. Yeah, no, like US states cannot leave the US. Let's repair the Seamoth. Is this a repair tool? Tell me that this is a repair tool. I don't. Yeah, it is a repair tool, huh? Okay. Well, whatever. I'm just gonna eat it. Just gonna have lunch then. Um.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Can you turn off your light? I can't. uh. I wish the USA. It could happen, but tanks would show up to stop it. What do you mean? Oh god, my coffee's back. Da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Your trophies. Hmm. How does one make bleach? I forgot. Oh, you need salt in like a tube. Okay. Um.
Vital signs stabilizing.
That's good. A state leaving the USA. Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't leave the US. The US won't let you. That's why it's also very controversial to let anyone in, because letting one in is like a decision for life. Like, yeah, once you go in, you can't go out. Yeah, that's very complicated and contentious. I don't know. Uh, like, yeah, that whole inseparability of the union thing. I don't know. I don't really care for it. I just hope uh, no more no more U.S. states join. Oh, you know what you could do? You could break up like existing states into smaller states. Like I think that Texas has like a provision within it that it can break up into smaller Texas, and yeah, no, they just have never done that, despite the fact that it's totally legal. Texas has like a special provision where it can go smaller, but it just never has. I guess they don't like the idea of like losing administrative. What's the word for that? Fiat over a territory as large as theirs. It's like, yeah, we're big. Texas is big. It's not going smaller. Hmm. Sea glide. I don't need a sea glide. I need a beacon. Yeah. Okay, beacons require copper. So I'm gonna take. Okay, that's not copper. This is copper. No, this is gold. How much copper do I have? How much gold do I have? Oh my goodness. Do I not have like any copper at all? I don't. Why don't I have copper? Why do I have so much gold? So all this gold but no copper. That's disappointing. What was I doing when I was playing earlier? Did I go on like a gold mining expedition with like no purpose whatsoever because I can't have like any use of gold right now? Mm. Copper lives here, right? In the limestones. Yes. Mhm. What is the California of Mexican states? Jalisco. It's like very big, very gay. Living there is very expensive. The stock market is just kind of crazy there. You can't have like anything. Uh, there's like this mega city called Guadalajara there, which is super nice. I would like to live there one day. Guadalajara is a very nice city. Yeah, that's like the Los Angeles, I think. I mean, though there are many cities like Los Angeles, right? Los Angeles is like not unique in being like a progressive city. Uh, the good thing about Jalisco as well, and Guadalajara in particular, is that it's like a nice city. Okay. Oof. Yeah, so yeah, Jalisco. Um, I don't need titanium. Silver. Yeah, what's the thing? What was I talking about? Yeah, no. So Jalisco is like very progressive. It's very diverse. Uh, it's better than LA because it has like actually walkable infrastructure. There are parts of the city where you can walk, and it's normal to walk. I used to move by there, in Guadalajara by bus, and that's like impossible in California. You need a car to get like everywhere, and uh, there are no droughts in Mexico, at least in the rich parts. So it would be hard to find something that had like the exact same problems that Cali does. Cali is like a very particular state, but like the Mexican West Coast does have, very similar geography to California, and there are water problems there as well. Central and northern Mexico tends to have like a lot of water problems. We have things where, we can't have water all the time. It's really annoying. A lot of people are just like, no, I want water, but they can't have it. Uh, During COVID and like in the place where I live right now, it's very difficult to have water. Water has to be brought to your house in like a truck because a bunch of like water, water places, I guess, are very far and very away from where people are. And there are pools of water drying up. It's not great. um People just kind of want water but they can't have it, so there's like a market for water smuggling. People go to other states and they take the water from those states and they bring it over to here. Which sounds silly maybe, but that's how a lot of people get their water, right? Like you pay someone to go out of the state to go fill a pipe um, somewhere else, and then they come back with the water, and you pay for that, and you can take showers now. I've paid for like corruption water a couple of times. But it was like very desperate situations. That's just kind of how things are here sometimes, so you kind of need to live with that. um because the alternative is to not have water for like prolonged periods of time, because there's like a corrupt government, and it doesn't let you have all the things that people are used to having, I guess. So that's a bummer. In the USA, you can get a walkable city. Oh, you just need to cut put your legs in the Fortran. Oh wow. Yeah, no. Mexico has a lot of walkable cities, but it's not because we're good at infrastructure. It's not because we're like super good at infrastructure and we saw ahead or something. It's because a lot of cities in Mexico are very old. Some of the oldest cities in the continent are here, and a lot of these cities were built with horses in mind, not cars. They were built for horse, for carriage, for all these kinds of, old timey, like modes of transportation, I guess. And the thing is, though, that unlike in the US, where you had like historic neighborhoods like Harlem and New York and other areas of that sort, in Mexico, we actually liked ours, and we decided that we were going to keep them for historical reasons. So we have a lot of cars and no, not cars. We have a lot of cities from the old days that still are made with stone and things like that. It gives a lot of the cities like this very old kind of look. colonial. But people like it, and thanks to that, a lot of our streets have been, we've been purging cars out so that the streets can remain the same. And in that process, we've actually preserved huge chunks of Mexican cities that are still walkable and that are still like operational by human beings to the detriment of cars. And yeah, what's that? Oh, they're going over. They're on the surface. Well, I've never seen like one of these things go on the surface. This is so cool. It's like a floating island. Copper. Yeah, that's what I needed. Rent is like 2,000 a month for a studio apartment for 40 minutes away from the city. That's insane. Uh, with that money, you should get a house instead, right? Like, why are you spending that much on rent? That's like a house. That's house money. Hmm. I cannot look at rent or housing prices because I am 10 to 20 years from buying a house, and prices in my area have over tripled in the past 25 years. Yeah, no, that's not good. In the USA, you can get a walkable city. You just need to cut war on drugs and cartels to smuggle water. No, we already have water smuggling. Like that. That wouldn't happen. Rent. Yeah, no, rent is expensive. I could tell you like what my ideas are about that. I think that what happens is that people learned that houses are one of those things that are very like resistant to inflation, sort of. And the problem with that is that a lot of people started buying houses to keep their savings on, right? So now, if you want to have savings, people know that the savings will just kind of go bad if they're just money in the bank. Because if it's just money in the bank, then it's not gonna last you, because money loses value over time. So you keeping money in the bank is actually like throwing money away. You'd be better off like spending that sort of money. And a lot of people are just kind of the idea that I'm not gonna have savings. I'm just gonna have a good time with my money, because my money is just going to like lose value over time. So there's no win situation. People who are a bit more financially literate learned that you can do what did they learn? Yeah, they learned that you can do houses. So instead of just having like no savings at all, you buy a house. Houses are very resistant to inflation. People just let themselves have a house instead of savings, instead of like market bonds, because houses just kind of preserve the value, and sometimes houses even get expensive. So houses are like an asset. They're like a bond. And they're a bond you can see and a bond you can touch, as opposed to other types of properties and values that people don't really understand, that are a lot more abstract. Like, what would be an example? Like, yeah, like stocks in the stock market. So, yeah, people started putting their savings into houses. And the problem with that is that if everyone is just kind of having a house that they use, not to live in, but to have savings, they're always interested in having the value of the property go up, because if the value of the property goes up, then they can have like their house be valuable, and gain money, which is what they want them for, right? They don't want them to live; they want them to save. And yeah, that's why a lot of these people are very opposed to like when infrastructure is built around their house, or when like prisons or public hospitals are built in the areas that they're in, because they don't want the property to lose value, because then suddenly houses are like any other stock. They're not super protected from variations in the market. So yeah, I mean, house markets should not be used this way, but they are, and because they are, um, yeah, house markets should not be used this way, but they are, and because they are, uh, houses are getting more expensive. Like, it used to be the case that a teacher could afford a house with like a teacher salary. Now they can't, because people are using housings. They're using homes to save instead than live, and that creates like a bunch of empty properties um, that have like no people living in them, but the demand for housing stays the same. So now you have houses that, places where houses can't be built. And that just makes it worse for everyone. So I am a firm believer that we should be like, like the Venezuelan socialists in this sense. We should limit the amount of like houses that a person can buy, provided they can't maintain the house, or have like like enough people there all the time, or prove that they're actually using it. Um, yeah, no. What the Venezuelans did is that they said, you have one house, uh, and if you have an extra house, the government is going to buy it from you, like whether you want to or not, and we're going to turn it into affordable housing. And they also went on a rampage of construction of actual houses, right? Like Venezuela. One of the things that Hugo Chavez did was to build a lot of houses, and there are still people who would otherwise be homeless currently living in the Chavez houses. They're not very good though. They're just like a form of affordable housing that's just kind of there. A lot of people prefer other types of housing. They had some corruption and infrastructure problems as well when they were being built. So you can have, your little apartment, and it has like no running water because somebody, it's missing parts, it's missing pipes. But there are examples of these houses that are actually quite good. They're bigger than the place I live in right now. So I would be very happy, right, to be the owner of one of these like Hugo Chavez houses. Yeah, I looked into a teacher gets 60K for 30 years of experience. Oh shit. Yeah, no, you can't buy a house in the US with that money. What are houses? What's housing price in the US? It should be like 200K, 300K. So you work for 10 years and you can have a house. I guess it depends in the area as well. Like, it's not all the places having the same prices. Housing in my area is $2 million. What the fuck? That's very expensive. Yeah, no, $2 million for housing. That's, yeah. You're probably not gonna live where your parents lived. It's yeah, no, I think that Gen Z and the millennials. They're going to be the first generation to maybe have less money than their parents did, right? And if that's true, a lot of people are going to have to downgrade their homes, which is going to be sad, but it is what it is. Like, you can't fight these like great economic forces. I think that the good thing about it though is that Gen C and Gen Y, I guess, are going to be very left wing because people are just so aware of the fact that they have like no money that they will just kind of organize around that and vote for politicians that are kind of in favor of that. You know, this thing normally happens where you have why is water like cold in here? Yeah, what normally happens is that people get more right wing. Oh, yeah, people get more right wing with age. Because with age, you just kind of get more property, you get more stuff, and you want to protect that stuff. You want to protect the fact that you can own things. And a lot of people become right wing as they age, because becoming right wing is just kind of a way to protect your assets and vote your interests and make sure that the money that you have is money that you're going to keep. So yeah, you know, like that's pretty normal. Like people voting, you know, becoming right wing as they age, not because their values change, not because they become conservative necessarily, but because uh, not being taxed, kinda. Uh, Not being taxed is a way to protect their assets and their money and, you know, the things that they have. Um, Go away. Yeah, so that happens. You know, people become right wing as they age. But our generation, like millennial Gen Z, is very unique in that it's not doing that actually. Like, Gen Z and millennials are so poor that they're not becoming conservative as they age. So I do think that, like, you know, a Bernie Sanders might be a viable candidate in like 20 years, 30 years, because everyone is just going to be so much more left wing, right? Because nobody's going to have property, nobody's going to have like assets they want to protect because everyone is going to be so poor that politics will emerge and will consolidate around the idea of, you know, wealth redistribution uh, mechanisms. So, you know, we're going to have a good future. Like, there's things. I mean, I guess if you're left wing, for if you're right wing, you might be quite concerned. But we're looking at a future of more left wing politics. You know, politicians who are further left, uh, voters who are further left, derived out of a generation of people who has like no money, which is sad. You know, these shouldn't be the reasons why things are the way they are, but you know, you gotta pick your battles, and I personally am not gonna complain about like a wider leftward turn, regardless of where it comes from. Though I certainly feel for the people who will be pushed into that. You know, I say this as if it's not going to affect me, but it's probably going to affect me. I feel for the people who are going to to have to suffer in the process of getting from point A to point B. It's probably going to be a couple of years of like Biden type compromise figures that will not really solve any issues, but will just kind of provide temporary solutions to a bunch of these things, which is going to be okay, right? Like the student debt thing, abolition stuff, that was really good. But it's just like a band-aid. Debt is going to accumulate again. It's Uraninite. I found uranium. This is so cool. What is this exactly? Oh. Right. Okay. I like this place. I think I'm gonna build a base here. Hell no, I am going to in an unpass with 5 roommates. Never say never. You have like a big life ahead, and nothing in that life guarantees you're gonna have like a lot of money. So. Yeah, I'm going to build a base here near the reactor. I am screwed. The textbooks for my class is over 1,500 pages. I don't think you're going to go through all of the textbook, though. Like, in my experience in college, you never complete a textbook, so don't sweat it. I've never completed, like, a textbook in college. I've gotten close to completing one like a long time ago, but we didn't. We stopped at the last section. Okay. Hmm. Student debt forgiveness cancellation. What? Is good was given up for the debt ceiling to collapse. Yes, but that's not gonna last you long. Because the debt is going to reaccumulate as long as college remains like private. That kind of thing will remain a problem. Yeah, like there's no good scenario for that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You can forgive debt, but debt forgiveness is just going to be a temporary solution to the fact that, debt will reaccumulate. You can keep doing debt forgiveness, like, don't get me wrong. That's, like, something you can do, like, an infinite amount of times. But it's kind of a silly problem to have, because Americans are put in this like awkward position where they have to wait for the debt forgiver, and that's not ideal. Like you shouldn't want. You should be more ambitious and request that you don't have to. Yeah, like you don't have to pay for college. Like what else should I say? um. Okay, I need magnetite for this. I don't know where I can find that. Um. Volcanoes and blue bulbs. There we go. No.
30 seconds.
Okay, we marked an area that seems like interesting. And we found uranium, which is great. College for me will be over 100K at the least, and that's with my 2 free years. 250K for my master's. Jesus Christ. What are you getting a degree on? Because, that's a lot of money for something that might not get you a lot of money. Yeah, like, don't let me discourage you. I think that the thing with American colleges is that you're not only paying for a college, you're also paying for a sort of insurance. Because if you're going to like an Ivy League college or like a college that you have to pay for, in the American education system, that's just kind of like a job security guarantee. And job security guarantees are good because what you're paying for is not only the education that you're getting, but a sort of pedigree document that guarantees that at least somewhere will take you in. The problem is, though, that you could end up with a job for whom, you have security, but not like enough money to cover the debt that you will end up accepting. Oh shit. There it is again, the giant thing. Why is it so near the surface? Like, what's up here that's so important? Is this an island? Is it the laser cannon island? Yeah. Okay, I know this island. We were here before. Economics in that state. Private schools are 80K per semester. That's insane. Okay, well, economics is complicated, but I wish you... I wish you luck. Here's the thing. Economics degrees are very abstract, right? You're doing the type of job that requires a lot of theory and a lot of very complicated thinking. And there are not that many jobs for economists in public policy. Like, sometimes you'll get someone who is, like, very good, and they will be elevated into, like, the bureau of, the Clintons or something, right? Like, they will get put in this position of power because of conveniences or alliances or that sort of thing. People who work in public policy are, like what I described to you, a minority within a minority. So economists just kind of tend to go into the social science jobs that other scientists go in, unless they find like a position in academia or public policy. And if you are very good at what you do, then you will find one of those, like no questions asked. Because, that system is very corrupt, but it's very good at finding like very talented people and putting them in positions of power. That's like the good thing about these like university things. But if you're not super sure about what you want to do with your life, economics is complicated, and you might go the way of the social service workers, I guess. It's hard to find a job, I guess. If I was mindful, of like economics and had an economic sensitivity, I would have gone into finance, because finance is it's like the same kind of work. It has the same mathematics that you will see in economics, but it will also let you do very practical things that people are interested in, like business administration and asset curation and all of these like nice little money tricks. Because economics is theory, if you're an economist, you're kind of a physicist. Whereas if you are an engineer, you're more like a financial studies person. Yeah, it's tough. If you really love it, though, don't let me discourage you. I guess I just want you to be aware of the challenges, because I also went into a very abstract field, and it's a lot of work to pitch yourself to people, because hiring you is something that they can do and they would benefit from doing, but paying for your skills is something that they often won't want to do, and they will hire like people who are less educated just to pay them less. And that's something that you would learn. You will learn in microeconomics whenever you have that class. Microeconomics is probably the single most useful thing people can learn. Because it's like, why do people make decisions, right? Like, why do people act in certain ways? I already had a course in micro. And yeah, you kind of learn that. It's like there to tell you, like, no, save yourself. Be a self-maximizing, like, rational agent that we say exists but doesn't actually. Yeah, no, good luck, Kami. I wish you success. Like, don't let me jade you. I live in a very different country. It might be that the US has like a lot of more jobs for people in the abstract fields. I know that in science the US has like a crazy amount of jobs, right? Because what you have is that private companies in the US are interested in developing their own patents for their own products and their own research needs. And that doesn't really happen in Mexico. What you get in Mexico is that the private sector is not really interested in development, but there's a very big public sector that does a lot of scientific development. So the public sector creates science for free. Then people can look up that science, whether they're doing it for, interest or whatever, or to make money or to make a product with it. But The private sector is not really interested in having their own scientists and doing their own science, which is kind of bad, but also kind of good. Because one thing I like about the fact that the private sector just doesn't care about science is that all science remains like public. Science is, something that anyone can access. You don't have those things you have in like PubMD, where scientific articles are behind paywalls, because since all science is paid by the state, you don't have to go through the trouble of actually paying someone for on a case-by-case basis for research that you want to read. You can just read whatever you want to read. But the problem is that there's like a lot less money to be made if you're a researcher. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, because I work in the scientific community. Well, I'm a member of the scientific community here. And part of the reason why I got so political was because I just kind of understood relatively early on that, even if you're very talented, you're going to have to clash against politics and institutions in this way, which sucks. And I started getting more interested in politics because by nature, I'm like a very independent person. I don't like, by character, I would be a lot more similar to libertarians and stuff than to socialists. But I learned a lot about like the way the system works and the way that people keep you in and out of things, and I just kind of decided that if you want to do things on your own, if you want to like work towards aims and things like that, you really need to go like out of your way to make sure a lot of these things that could be working against you don't. And that's why I became a political person. So yeah. I took macro, it was really good, and I take a micro in the fall. Oh, you're really going to enjoy micro. Well, I don't know if you're going to enjoy it, but I certainly did when I took a look at that. I never took a course. It was like a diploma thing. But yeah, I mean, I held my ground against economists. I've been to economics conferences. Like I participated in the correction of like some chud who wanted to create an alternative to the Gini coefficient that was sensitive to mean inequality, and that was like a fucking stupid measurement. but I was there, to kind of explain the math of why what he was trying to do was not okay. And yeah, like I know my econ. And micro was my favorite, because with micro I eventually had like a small background in finance that was good enough to participate in the Mexican foreign exchange, and I did some fun stuff there, though I don't think I would do it again. It was like one of those things that it's good for one time, but it's not my values and it's not who I am. I really like theory and understanding it and debating it. I am extremely independent person. Yeah. It's good to be independent, especially in college, because being in charge of your own learning and doing it responsibly, that's what makes you successful as a college student. Yeah, it's something I wish I knew like a lot earlier. I mean, I knew it. I just didn't care because I had a lot of health issues. that a lot of people didn't believe were real. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna care about my health before I care about like any of you guys' expectations of me, because my health was fucked up. Can you send me some resources related to some economic lectures you like or books? There's a business administration open course in Harvard that is uploaded onto YouTube. You can take that whole course. If you want to have the course, you can like just get the diploma from them as well, because they will sell you the diploma. Well, they won't sell you the diploma. They will sell you a test, and if you pass it, they will guarantee. They will give you the optative that you took the course. The Yale Business School also has like an online course. One of my biggest political, intellectual, just kind of academic influences pertaining to social sciences is a guy called Ian Shapiro. He's part of the Yale Business School, and he has a lot of courses online. You can watch those. I took a nap because I was tired and had a headache. Yeah, don't worry, Alex. This music is so weird. Yeah, no, this has just been like an exploration stream. I'm trying to find more places. It's weird to me because this is like desert. And there are like no life forms. One of your favorite things is to argue with like good sources. That can be fun. I used to be really into arguing, but then I just kind of hated it afterwards. Because I learned. What did I learn? I guess I didn't really learn anything. I just realized that if you're going to have like political arguments, it has to be. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Okay. I'm near the ship. I'm like right below the ship. Whoa. I came so close without noticing. Huh. So that's why everything's like this. It got destroyed by radiation. Uh-huh. Wow, this is so worrying. I never really had much trouble learning in college. That's good. Oh my god! What is that? No, 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 no. Where's my... Vegetation Island? Purple Mushroom Area? Prawn Suit. Okay. I should go over there. What the fuck? Oh god. That thing was huge. Okay, there you are. I know you're probably not coming to like this area, but... Ha! Huh. That's a bunch of nope. Yeah. Holy shit. uh, what is that thing? Like, why would that thing be so close? I imagine it's a predator, right? That looks like a predator if it attacked me. Why would it be around like so much garbage? Because there's nothing here, right? Like there's nothing for here for that thing to eat. If you're going to be making a political argument, it has to be about something nonsensical. No. See, what I learned after spending a lot of time in like Discord debates and things like that is that it makes no sense to have political arguments for fun. If you're going to have a political argument, if you're going to have like most of any type of argument, it has to be an argument that you have with someone you are trying to solve a problem with, or someone with whom you are meaningfully organizing in some way. Because otherwise, debate is just this kind of bourgeois sport where you're just entertaining ideas for the sake of entertaining ideas. And what? What is this? What the hell? Why is it upside down? Yeah, you're just entertaining ideas for fun. And what? What the fuck? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, you just start to like entertain ideas for the sake of entertaining ideas. And you know, that's not like work. If you want to be doing something productive, you'd be better off like you know, cleaning a toilet at your house or that sort of thing. Debate rarely changes people's minds. Because debate is confrontational and you have to go through someone's ego and prove them wrong, often in like public settings, right? To have a debate. And people very rarely change their minds in debates. Like, when's the last time you've seen like a US presidential debate and then someone says like, oh yeah, no, my opponent made a very good point, I think I'm gonna take you know, his position because you know, it was a good position, I agree, I feel proved wrong in my in my preconceptions, right? That doesn't happen because people don't really change their minds through debate or in debate. And that's unfortunate, but it's just like the way it is. And that's why I'm more interested in books now. Because books give you this opportunity to, you know, you get educated and you, by yourself, change your mind on things that you might have been ignorant about in the past. Which is great. That's as good as you get to being a better educated person. I am really good at oral commotion and improving an argument, but I don't know enough yet to seriously argue. Right.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I mean, that's a good skill to have, but like I don't know. I don't like having arguments. That's why I never participated in like debate streams, though I've been invited to a couple of times. I don't really, you know, I know that people don't really change their minds through debate. They just participate in a sport, a competitive sport of dominating someone else in the field of ideas. And you know, that's good and all, it's entertaining, I certainly had like a phase in my life where I was watching streamers for like debate. Like back in my day, you had people like Andrew Worski and what's the name? Oh, one guy who later got jailed for being sus called Amos Yee. And, people who debated religion and that kind of thing. That was certainly a thing that I watched at some point. But I didn't really learn anything from it. I just, saw a bunch of people humiliate themselves. And, that's fun if you're the type of person that enjoys that. If you think that you're watching debate and, doing something better than watching sports, for example, because you're exercising your mind, as opposed to people who just, sit on a couch and tell millionaires, yeah, no, you gotta do this. Like, people who tell the TV what the sports person should do. uh, if you feel that way, it might not be as deep-minded as you think, because a lot of people who watch debate for the competition. They come in like you would support a character or a football team in any other circumstance. The thing that proved this the most to me was the debate between Sam Hyde and Jordan Peterson that happened some years ago, because that debate was actually super interesting. I really enjoyed it. But the audience was not enjoying it the way you would enjoy an intellectual conversation. They were enjoying it because individually they came in support of either Jordan Peterson or Sam Hyde, and they were cheering for them when they made a good point, and it was like, yeah, show him, that kind of thing. And that was kind of cringy in my opinion. I love that. I didn't leave that debate feeling like a smarter person. I left that debate thinking that I watched the conversation of two friends who were trying to make sense of their own disagreement in a way that was like maybe smarter than most arguments between friends go. But rhetoric, dominating someone else intellectually, that sort of stuff, it's cruel, right? Like, if you're actually a powerful person, if you're actually someone who's smart, who's capable, who can, pick up the weight of other people to throw them around, you could probably use that same strength to pick someone else up if they're down, to be like a force of construction rather than a force of conquest. And that's how I think about my own relationship to debate content, and why I don't participate in it as much, because I don't want to humiliate people. And I know that if I ever wanted to go into like the Twitch debate part of streaming, I would have to humiliate people. Because that's where the fun is, right? It's in like, yeah, I showed that idiot. I proved them wrong. I exposed them to their audience, that came in support of them, and they had to sit there and watch how I'm right and they're wrong, and yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's not something I'm super comfortable with. Like, the way I relate to the political content creators I disagree with, but I still talk to, is that I just, have conversations with them in private. I disagree with them in private. They're still in this, like, dumbass, I gotta own you mode, but I just never engage in that because, I don't gain anything from owning people. It's just like, you get that high, right? You get that moment of climax of like, yeah, no, I was able to like put down someone else, but then you turn around and the you know, in materialistic terms, to put it in like a Marxist way, all that happened is that you lost 1 hour of your life, 2 hours of your life that you could have spent being happy, right? Instead of in confrontation with someone who, you know, you were not going to find agreement with, or with whom you will probably never organize politically. Mm-hmm.
Seek fluid entity.
Okay. Oh shit.
New blueprint acquired.
Oh, shark. Damn. All right. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. Communication and improvising, right? I don't like watching debates. I think I would be really good at debating the future. Yeah, chances are you are. Like, a lot of people don't really know how to debate. I really admire your perspective. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, like that's the thing with like conservatives and power. Like, power should not be something that you use to bring other people to heel, because like there will always be people weaker than you in whatever you do, right? You will always have things like children, or like what else, or like, you know, partners who don't share your interests, or things like that. And there will be people in your life who, you know, they don't leave me alone. Yeah, who will be less skilled than you in ways that you are skilled, and in ways that you are powerful, and in ways that you are competent. And, you know, you're always going to be stronger than someone else in some way, right? You're always going to be stronger than someone else. If you're a man, if you're like above 6 feet, you're already like taller and more corpulent than over 70% of humans. So why would you want to take that and use it to like bully other people, right? Why would you want to you know, use your strength in a way that is easy and destructive? Because you can, right? Like, you're always going to be able to abuse someone and use force in a raw, kind of cruel way. What's really hard to do is to use force in a way that you know, builds something, that creates something, that lifts someone else up instead of tearing them down. And because that's actually difficult, and because that's actually challenging, a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people just prefer the comfort of like being abusive. So yeah, if you're bad at debate, just be like Ben Shapiro and debate coach. Yeah, right. Like, what's the deal with that guy? Yeah, debating first grad kids
Stabilizing.
that probably just got out of a high school where they never really had to, you know, question their positions against someone else. I don't really even think that Ben Shapiro is very good at making arguments, right? Because a lot of what he does is dominate conversations and engage conversations on his terms. Like, Marxist, we have this thing with liberals sometimes where we have a different definition of private property versus the definition of like what's the thing, private and personal. Yeah, personal property. So for a Marxist, private property is property that is exclusive, because, you know, you having it means taking someone from someone else that you know, otherwise minimizes them, and what's an example. Private property, an example, is like a factory, right? Because you having a factory makes you able to work um, through the help of other people that you can proceed to pay for afterwards, but you don't really pay them the full ticket, right? Because if you paid them the full ticket, then it wouldn't be profitable. You'd be at zeros if you paid other people for their work, as much as if they got out as much as they bring in. And personal property for Marxists is a kind of property that is exclusive, but it's contained. Its use is contained within yourself, right? So, um, for example, your toothbrush is personal property because you're the only person using your toothbrush. I hope. So people who have like your shoes or your clothes or that kind of thing, that's personal property because no one can use it if you're using it. A factory is different because you can own a factory and you can not use it, but other people can work it and you can still like derive profits from its use that way, right? So there's the difference. And in Marxism, we often talk about the abolition of private property. And by that, we mean abolishing things like the private ownership of factories, right? But liberals have this thing where private property means just like things that you own in exclusion to other people owning them. So when we discuss things about the abolition of private property, they think we're talking about the factory and the toothbrush instead of just the factory and not the toothbrush. Yeah, because like no one is supposed to take your toothbrush, right? Like we don't want that. We can't. That's not an item of collective benefit. But people still think that, oh no, you won't have any private property means you won't have anything like private for yourself, right? And that's not what it means. But yeah, that's the problem with talking to people that have very different definitions from you. And Ben Shapiro does that a lot because he thinks that, the conservative definitions of, property and things like that are the definitions that everyone uses. He's very narrow-minded in that sense. And when you talk to Ben Shapiro, like he won't even like stop to consider like, oh, you can't change the definition of property, or you can't change the definition of marriage, or you can't change the definition of whatever, right? So he's so kind of entrenched in his worldview that to debate him is to have like a permanent debate about what things are. Yeah, like you can't change the definition of women, you can't change the definition of property. It's like a permanent debate about having other people have conversations on his terms, and that's not really debate. Because debate, at least if done well, and I don't think even that's possible, right? You have to actively try to reach across the aisle and come to an understanding with the people you are trying to have a conversation with, right? Because otherwise you're just talking about what you want to talk, and they're talking about what they want to talk, and no one is really having, no one's really talking about anything. Everyone's just like, they're so focused on winning that they're not having conversations. Which is terrible, but it's how it is. Is a house a private property? It is if you're the one living in it, right? Yeah. So if it's a house and you live in it, and you're the one using it, and you couldn't not use your house, which is like the relationship most people have to their houses, then yeah, that's your personal property, because it belongs to you, and no one else can use it if you're using it, because it's space that you're using to live. That's personal property. If you're taking a house and you're using it for savings, and you're not really letting someone else live there, like no one is using it, but you're just using it for money stacking purposes, no one's maintaining the house is just there gathering dust. But it's like a summer house, right? Or something that you have around, um, because you sometimes, it brings you some benefit other than living inside it. Then yeah, it's private property, and most socialists would tell you that that second home that you're not using to live in should not exist as a valid category of property. So yeah. I tried, but it's really hard to epically. To epically? What do you mean to epically? It's really hard to epically if you're trying to help. If you're trying to win them, ignoring you is a win. But if you're trying to help them, ignoring you is losing and painful. Yeah, no. The thing is that debate is a lot more emotional than you may think. People don't really experience debate as something that changes their minds. They experience it as conflict. And the problem with that is that it's very rare that you will give someone an argument and they will have the maturity and humility to just kind of accept that, you said something that they're convinced about. They're typically just going to get defensive. And that's the thing, right? You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't. You should know that that doesn't work. The liberal idea of rational debate and convincing others through debate doesn't work. A lot of the strongest opinions that people have, like opinions around religion and opinions around morality and those sorts of things, these are not opinions that you can argue someone out of. The experience of leaving that kind of opinion behind is very emotional. It's very personal. It's a lot more similar to religious conversion than to debate, because you actually have to have a change of heart, not only a change of mind. You need to have a change of heart. And yeah, that's a problem a lot of people don't have, that they're trying to have someone have a change of heart by only having them have a change of mind, which is near impossible. Here's another thing about that, though. Oh wait. What the fuck? This is huge. What is that? Yeah, I know you're very angry and very manly, Shark, but wait. um, I have never seen a human ruin this big. Well, in game, but yeah. Look at that, it's a floating island. But yeah, I mean, debate doesn't work. It only works with certain people and on very specific issues. You can't have someone have a 180 in their worldview just by saying things to them, right?
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So yeah, that's kind of why I stopped.
On the land masses suspended here suggest they once floated on the surface.
Oh, whoa! These ones were islands. Okay. I think I'm gonna drop a tracker radar. I am a very unemotional person. I try to not really be emotional when I can. That's the problem. Debate requires you to be emotional if you want to change someone's mind. Okay, I'm gonna deploy it. And Floating underwater islands. Isla, because that's island in Spanish. Hmm. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hmm. Hmm. Now we're all emotional, Kami. I've never met a person who wasn't emotional. I do know like a lot of guys who repress a lot though. They repress their emotions. What's the ground like? Okay, a bunch of bone sharks. I haven't done much of anything this stream. Well, no, I've explored a lot, which is great. Um, I wish there was no day-night cycle because going to the very deep parts of the ocean that I want to go gets really difficult because of the fact there's night. What is that? Yeah, what if I go straight down? What will I find? Floating islands. I guess I tend to repress my emotions. Don't repress your emotions, guys. Yeah, no, don't do that. It's not healthy for men. Men need to express their emotions. Like, even if people don't like you because you express your emotions, you know what? It's worth it. It's worth being yourself. It's worth it actually being like yourself in peace and security. Your emotions are part of who you are, and running away from them is kind of like, you know, that guys actually die super young because of that. Because a lot of guys who are like accustomed to repress their emotions are like, no, I won't go to the doctor. I'm not sick. I can take care of myself. And that's one of the reasons why men die so much, because men are less likely to seek medical attention when they need it, precisely because they're so like steadfast about not going for care, not expressing um, that they need care and that they need attention and that they need other people to be there for them and other people to do things for them and that sort of thing. You know, to the detriment of men, um, repressing your own emotions does that to you, and you shouldn't do that to yourself. It will make you worse off. It will make you like depressed. It will make you sad. It will make you unable to connect with the people in your life because you will just never be able to express an opinion in a way that's not, you know, conflictive. So yeah, you know, guys gotta express their emotions. It's like Women like when guys express their emotions. Well, the healthy ones. Because yeah, I've met like a lot of girls who are somewhat intimidated by emotional men. Like, it's complicated, but they're not people you want to be partners with. They have this idea that, oh, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think they're straight most of the time. I think they're like repressed lesbians that don't really like men, but they like having access to a man's body because a man's body approaches them to privilege. To it gets them closer to structures, to patriarchal structures of power. So they don't really like men, but they like what men provide, I guess. And they're also like gay and repressed sometimes. And they don't really like men, but they like masculinity and the performance of masculinity. And so they will say things like, oh, you gotta be a man, and they'll be really comfortable like slapping you and hitting you because they think you're a man and you can take it. Like, that's like the example of the people who don't want you to express your emotions, right? People who want to control you and just kind of approach you because of interests. And you don't want to be that person towards yourself, if that makes sense. Like, you should be kind to yourself. You should treat yourself as someone you are responsible for caring, because you are responsible for caring about like your emotions and your emotional state and these things. I don't want to hurt other people. What do you mean? You think that if you share your emotions, other people will be hurt? Oh shit, another one of those. Well, you don't have to like share your emotions in a destructive way, right? You don't have to explode. You just need to release. Like, if someone makes you angry, you can just say, hey, like, you did something that upset me. You did something that made me feel bad. And if you care about me, I would like you to be more careful about that in the future. It doesn't have to be like a bigger deal than that. And yeah, if it is, if you feel like you're like so constrained and so so tight that a single attempt of you to release your emotions would result in like a complete loss of control, right? Like, Hulk going ape mode on someone. Then you probably need to go to therapy, because that means you are very repressed. Like, you have a lot of things that you should probably let go, but you should probably let go of in a safe environment. So yeah, I don't know how to not get scared, and then I repressed my emotions. I've had hundreds of times where I wanted to talk about my emotions, but when I do, I can't speak. I hate myself anytime I ask anyone for anything, especially venting about my problems or ask help with my problems. Go to therapy. Like, that's probably, the stupidest solution to your problem. If you feel like you can't share how you feel to someone because you're afraid they will judge you, then just pay someone not to judge you, right? It sounds sad, maybe to some people it may sound like a little pathetic, but you know what's pathetic? What's pathetic is like holding that for the rest of your life and not growing from that and letting that control you. Like, in a way, therapy is a way to create an artificial environment with someone who's professional, where you can externalize a lot of the things that you got going inside, so that you don't blow them up on your wife, let's say, or your family or your friends. No, 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 I'm not that bad. You know what? People who say I'm not that bad are oftentimes the ones who need the most help. I mean, I'm not trying to like lecture you because I don't know you, right? Like, uh, up close, I don't know you and I don't know what you need. But I know that everyone benefits from therapy, regardless of whether they have, a very pressing issue they would like attention for, or whether they're just like coping with life and stuff. There's therapy is expensive, and also I'm a kid, and they will have to talk to my parents, and I want to keep the information I would um, revile in therapy. No, they don't have to talk to your parents. Um, you can have confidentiality with your therapist as an adult. Yeah, like if you can just say that you want confidentiality, and they have to respect that, right? It's like part of being professional. Okay, we found a structure. Our exploration resulted in the finding of a structure of some kind. Is this an island, or is this like an actual underwater tower? What is this? It's an actual tower. It's a structure that detached from things. It's not. Oh no, it's just a laser cannon. Ah, that's so annoying. mm. I don't blow up on people. I just mess myself and blame myself. That's normally the behavior of cluster C personality disorders, which is like a depressive and depressive and anxious tendencies, which is where you have issues, but you contain them within yourself.
Vital signs stabilized.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. What you're talking about is an actual thing about guys, right? Okay. I think I'm gonna explore this tower, and once that's done, I'm going to go back to the base and stop for a second. Yeah, once that's done, I'm gonna stop for a second. I'm gonna continue streaming though. What I'm going to do is that I am going to do this thing that I said I would do, which is fix the stream alerts, because the stream alerts are not working. Huh? Yeah, I am going to fix the stream alerts. Doomsday device? What? Yeah, the stream alerts are not working. They need to work. My objective is to get them running. Once I have them running, I will create. You guys will be able to create redeems that work on stream. Oh, right. Okay, so this is the energy core. I'm supposed to come back here when I want to turn off the laser, but I can't turn off the laser yet. So I will just drop a mark in my map that this is what this is. So yeah, this like strange tower that I accessed from below is nothing. It's nothing more than just the control panel of the tower that prevents the disease I have from going on to other planets. And yeah, so here these things basically that. Now let me see what else I can find. Alien Arch. This is just a teleporter. I know I can place a cube here and it activates a portal of some sort. But I don't think I want to access that portal just yet. I guess it's just good that I found the entryway to the tower. Yeah, I'm just gonna mark this is the entryway to the tower. I think I will go to therapy in secret when I am older, but I just have too many things to deal with right now. You know what? I would tell you to go as soon as you can, but going in secret when you were older is what I did. So, yeah. Let's see. Laser tower entry. Myself is a valid target when the problems I have are with myself. No one else needs to be involved. Also, I have cycles where I want to help, but I have been depressed for so long I know how to ride without. Yeah, I mean, I hope you understand how that's kind of hard for anyone to, be comfortable with. If you say that to someone you love, they're probably going to be very worried for you because they wouldn't want you to struggle by yourself. But sometimes, people feel like they have to struggle by themselves, and it's very hard to change that because fundamentally the problem is that you don't feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, what? Oh no. It's the thing. It's the thing. What the fuck? Yeah, no, where are you? I have encountered like 3 of those now. What the hell? I don't want anything to do with you people. Leave me alone. Mind your own business. I don't want anything. What are those monsters? Okay, these are mushrooms, but unlike the mushrooms that we've seen before, these are fossilized, so they're like rocks. Yeah, they become stone. It doesn't seem like there's much of anything around here. Not many resources, not many, like, plants. It's still an area, though, and I guess I'm gonna mark it. Wait, no, I can't mark it, shit. Yeah, no, I've run out of, markers. Okay, that's as good a place to call it, I guess. I will create another stream where I will go for more markers. And just kind of keep marking the map, keep learning about things, keep 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 up. It's been a fun time. I missed playing Subnautica. More than that, I like the idea that I'm not going to get lost anymore because I am marking the places that interest me. And for the longest time, I didn't do that at all. So yeah. I got salt. Yes, but getting help would be weird. I don't know who I am without depression. Also, I get the worst at night, and I am able to pretty accurately track my cycles, and I am closest to getting help when I am at the peak and the most scared. Okay, yeah. You know, if it's like that difficult for you, it does sound like it's something that you should do in a safe environment. So make sure you have that safe environment first, and then you can be like easy about it. But I should tell you as well, just from an intellectual honesty standpoint, that like the earlier you do that, the better, because your ability to work, your ability to be productive, your ability to do things right is going to get so much better the moment you actually free yourself from this stuff. Okay. Well, we're saving and we're quitting. What do you mean? I just saved. Hmm. Cough, cough, cough. Oh god. That was a lot of fun. Okay. We did it. The stream's over. Ah! It's been a lot of fun. I missed Subnautica. I missed doing all this stuff. It was amazing. I have a couple of emails from people I need to answer. Yeah, some work, some friends. So on to a new stream. Yes, new stream. The new stream is going to be like a lot, a lot less going on. It's just going to be the screen and me trying to figure out things so that the stuff can work. So I'm ending the stream here. You guys can meet me in a couple of minutes if you want to be there for the asset correction stream, and yeah, I'll see you then. Bye.